Here we are, this is the first Tonic talk with Kaishandao, which we're very excited to host. A little bit about Tonic really quickly, because it started in China, where we all kind of became, and Will at the back, all kind of became very close in a tour in 2024 that Kristen put on. Myself as a member of Bird Party with Will and a DJ, and Alice as the sound engineer of the whole damn tour and a DJ as well. And Kristen as Kaishandao. And if you don't know already, you should definitely look up her production. It's amazing. But I'm pretty sure literally all of us know, so that's all good. And the creator of Kiwese touring, which is what you're going to hear all about. Yeah, and with Tonic, we were over there for a month and we played a lot of shows, went to a lot of places, and we were so grateful to just experience the underground culture and different scenes all across mainland China. Just so many incredible people doing amazing things in the forms of other collectives, their own creative practices and spaces as well. And so yeah, we got our brain cogs moving, and we really wanted to just bring that back to Te Whanganui Atara. Yeah, and just kind of carry on that energy and that inspiration that we had while we were over there. And out came Tonic. You've had it for a year now, done some gigs and a bunch of things like that. Radio shows and some other stuff, and now talks. And yeah, it was all because of our time in China that we just always so grateful for. So yeah, we'll pass the mic, we'll pass the sword to Kristen Ning, aka Kaishandao, who we're very excited to have here today. Kia ora.
Kia ora everyone. Thank you, Tonic, for hosting this little talk. I've been back in Aotearoa for about 2 months now and playing some gigs as Kaishandao, catching up with whānau, friends, stomping up Cuba Street 15 times. But I thought I'd love to just sit down and have a share, and then we can all connect. So it's pretty cool. So happy to be here and see so many familiar faces. It's so cool that there's people that have been part of this network for a while now. Honorary mention to Crone at the back. We'll get to that in a minute. So today I want to talk about, there's so much to talk about, but I feel like I just want to kind of bottle it down into these things. I want to talk a bit about the work that I do with Kiwis and the other bits and bobs that I do in Chengdu, and talk a bit about my story. And then I want to talk about touring in China, the who, what, where, why, how, as I understand it. And then want to start talking about some challenges with said touring. And then I'd love to open the floor to any alumni, Kiwis alumni, that would like to just put their stories in or share any insights. And then really want to spend a lot of time on the Q&A. So I am originally from Wellington, and I've been living in Chengdu, China for this will be my 12th year, which is really wild. So I originally moved to China as a language student. I went to Vic and I did a Bachelor of Arts in Chinese language and English literature. And my teacher at the time, Bai Lao Shi, shout out Bai Lao Shi, she doesn't reply to my emails, I don't know why. She was like, you should apply for the Confucius Institute scholarship. So then I was, pushed to do this scholarship. And I got it. So there's only 10 of them a year given out to New Zealand students of Mandarin. And my goal was to learn Mandarin, become fluent in it. Background info, I'm Chinese, Cantonese Chinese heritage. I whakapapa to southern China, little place called Taishan. So I moved to China, originally moved to Beijing as a language student. And then from there, I improved my Chinese drastically. And that really made me quite addicted to the feeling of, pursuing this goal. And I wanted to keep staying on. So I applied for another Confucius Institute scholarship and was lucky enough to be able to choose my destination. I chose Chengdu. Chengdu is the capital of Sichuan province, so it's a bit further inland. It's got a population of about 25 million people, but doesn't feel like it. Super chill, super lax, really great food, if anyone's into hot pot, Sichuan cuisine, that kind of thing, really great nightlife, and it's just where I've called home for the last 12 years. Musically, I just wanted to give a shout out to the Welly life growing up here. I went to Wellington East. Any East girls in the house? Nah. Nah. Yeah, I went to Wellington East, played in a bunch of bands, and just really kind of grew up in the CBD, you know, stomping up and down Cuba Street in our big school shoes, like going to Real Groovy, going to Slow Bit Records, going to CD and DVD store, and, busking. I was busking a lot on Cuba Street at the end of high school, and met so many cool people through that, and just really felt that this was something that I could do that was outside of family, outside of even my friend circle at school. Like, no one really knew what I was doing. And so it was this kind of extra pursuit that I really kind of fell in love with, because it took me so many random and funny places. So happy to be back in Wellies. This is my grandmother, who I actually never got to meet because she died before my sister and I were born. But doesn't she look beautiful? This was her wedding to my my grandfather in Wellington, 1950, and I often think to, this kind of reverse immigration thing. They gave up so much to move to Aotearoa when they did, to have a better life for their whānau. And now I'm kind of making the journey back to like find the roots, or what was kind of lost during that process. So that guides a lot of what I do. This is me. I thought I just made this today. I was like, this photo was taken by Nathan Tare on the All-Seeing Hand Alphabet Head ENT Kaishandao tour of 2017. Shout out Dan on the camera today, who was on that tour and made an incredible documentary about it called Black Holes Are Gathering. I have the link for y'all later if you're interested to watch that. China. 中国. China. Why China? Yeah, I wanted to go to China because obviously the cultural element, my family's Chinese, but I didn't grow up speaking any Chinese at all. And so I went to high school. I did Chinese at high school, did Chinese at uni, and was kind of just trying to find a link back to it. There's this phrase in Mandarin, 落叶归根, which is like, a falling leaf returns to the roots. So these are all the kind of reasons that I went there in the first place, and did not imagine myself staying there for 13 years, but here we are. I thought it would just be a 1-year scholarship thing, but then when 1-year scholarship turned into 2-year scholarship, I really just found myself at home in Chengdu. I made these incredible friends that just took me in, even though my Mandarin was like so bad, and I was really self-conscious about that for the first, I would say, 3 to 4 years. And I still get like that sometimes, where I'm like, I can't communicate properly, like my Mandarin isn't good enough, or like no one knows what I'm talking about, or, but that's an ongoing journey. Cool. So now I'd like to talk a bit about the projects that I do. This is Kiwese. Kiwese is a touring agency / blog that operates between Wellington and Chengdu, but primarily Chengdu, which is where I live. It's been operating as a blog since 2013, and we did our first, I It feels so weird because it's like literally just me, but I'm always like, we did. But no, we, kiwese, not key eyes. No, we did our first tour in 2015 with Orchestra of Spheres and Lady Laserlight, who's in the house today. And that came about through me literally standing at Raglan Roast and Dan Beeben coming up to me, and we were just having coffee, and he was like, oh, I'd be pretty keen to explore China. And I was like, oh, that would be fucking rad. And then he was like, yeah, Erica's over in Beijing doing a residency. And I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, I was like 24 at the time, like really just threw myself into it in a really chaotic way. So that was in 2015, and since then we've done, oops, can we skip that one? Oh yeah, I actually want to show you the alumni one so you can get your bearings. So yeah, Orchestra of Spheres and Lady Laserlight in 2015. That was an absolutely life-changing experience. Having Erica on board as well, bringing the installation visual element of like the grungiest sort of like Valhalla hole-in-the-wall parties like straight into the heart of Beijing was just absolutely incredible. It was, the trip of a lifetime, and that really gave me a taste for it and just wanted to keep doing it. And I had a lot of support from that crew, obviously Dan, Nell, Erica and Ricky, who just put their trust in me completely, which was like so irresponsible. But I was like, we're really doing this? Okay. Basically, the end of that tour my end of the tour ended with me and Erica getting so fucking smashed on the overnight train and making these like music videos just like in our undies, like dancing on the like sleeper train thing. And then like just like passing out, waking up with the train guy being like, Nitao, like you're here. And we were like, oh fuck. And then we had to like pack all that shit up. I lost my passport. Started crying hard out. And then what happened? Oh yeah, then you guys all went to Shenzhen without me. And then I had to wait in Kunming for the New Zealand consulate to like sort my ass out. Send me like a letter which I got printed, and then you try to use that to get on the train with like my 2015 Mandarin. It was a trip. Well, more on that later. I've actually got a video from that tour. During that tour, I also was like just going so ham. I had like a DSLR camera and like a Zoom recorder, and just like actually being like manic, which what I now recognise as a little bit manic. But it's like going up in people's faces and being like, "What you think of it?" But it actually came out real cool, and I would never do it again like that. But I'm glad I did it then. Next up was Mr. Stereo Assembly, who is Kieran and Chrissy from Skirted Records in Happy Valley. They came over as a duo, and that was a really awesome big tour. It was just the three of us. The next big one, and possibly one of the biggest ones ever, was the all-seeing hand, ENT, Alphabet Head, Illojgali, and Kaishandao, which was, I don't even really know how to talk about it in one sentence, but as I said before, there's an incredible documentary about that, and I would love for you to go watch it. Took a year break, don't know why. It's because I fucked up my visa, and then I came back to New Zealand for like 3 months. It's all coming back to me now. Womb and Strange Stains with Christopher Ulutupu and Laura Duffy. So Womb were living in Pōneke at the time and reached out, and quite a different style, if you sort of can track the like vibe of the previous tours, like to bring it right back down to this really like dreamy kind of ethereal sound. But that was the kind of last tour before the wheels fell off the bus, so to speak. There was going to be a tour after the Womb Strange Stains tour, which was going to be Crone Live. Shout outs, Lucy Reid in the back, I see you. With Ursula Lisson and Kaishandao. But that was a little bit too ambitious for me, especially because those top four were all being done under the radar with no. We didn't have any permits, we didn't have work visas, and we were just really kind of going by the seat of our pants. And then actually a really pivotal moment in restarting Kiwis was coming back and going to Camp Illojgali. Was anyone at camp last year? Yeah, sure. That was absolutely like, fuck yes. I just wanted to be part of it, and I just wanted to be active in it again and saw the possibilities again, and I just felt better in myself as well. So I saw Bird Party for the first time at camp, and oh yes, I did see you for the first time at camp. But I knew Ems, I had seen you guys around like Welcome to Nowhere and stuff, but it was that show that I was like, oh my God, they absolutely destroyed Lagoon, and it was awesome. So I reached out to Bird Party thinking, okay, if we're going to do this properly with all of the permits and all the regulations, which we'll get to soon, I wanted to keep it quite tight and just have like as little people as possible. And I was like, Bird Party, perfect. They're a couple, one room. They're a duo, like easy. Next minute, we expanded quite drastically. Vera from Vera Ellen reached out to me via Ben Lemmy, who drums for many bands, but one of them is Vera Ellen. And so Vera and the crew, including Rizzo, came on board. So it actually turned into, next minute, trying to be real chill, but then it just turned into this absolute bonanza. And it was so handy. So not only was it the live element, which we'd had before with the bands, performing their gig, it was like the bands perform their gig. Then Kaishandao plays, and then we have 2 DJ sets every night. So yeah, it was a big one. And then coming up to last year, where I brought over Dale Kerrigan from Dunedin. And that's the first time I've worked with a band outside of Wellington. But like Bird Party, I saw Dale Kerrigan for the first time at camp and was just blown away, absolutely obsessed. And yeah, got in touch with them and they were real keen. They were a cool unit as well because they had a few, similar with the Alphabet had All Sing Hand thing, or like the Bird Party Ludus thing, like they had members that could do multiple acts. So that was a real cool way to mix it up. And then, just quick preview. The next upcoming tour is going to be Night Lunch, also from Dunedin, with Crime Hospital. Who is Crime Hospital? And Kaishandao. So that's going to be handy as well. Cool, let's go back. Just wanted to share some beautiful artwork from Kiwis over the years, done by the incredible Daily Secretion, Hannah Salmon, who has recently moved to Otipoti, Dunedin. And yeah, as you can see, that was the part of the Kiwis aesthetic. I'd really like to show you an episode from aforementioned Orchestra Spheres tour.
It's the second day of the national holiday. There's a lot of other people here and we're waiting for our train to Chengdu.
I'm jumping straight out.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah!
你们是什么国家的？
成都。
这里是成都，哎，这里是成都。
my projector today, I get to use this wicked LED screen. It's so awesome. It seems like a really cool community vibe. The stage is incredible. It's all built with bamboo. Everyone I've met so far has been really friendly and really onto it.
我觉得他们会爆掉。今天所有的朋友都在等他们。
Kristen taught me a few new phrases today. Chengdu hun niu bi, 我喜欢吃辣，我不晓得。
We had a really great lunch today. Had some fish, Sichuan fish, which is beautiful. Man, it's awesome. We've been spoiled.
I got these. I'm not sure what the official name is, but we call them sprouts. We've seen them around everywhere in China. People wear them on their heads like this.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, it's real legit. It's real legit.
Crowd.
你觉得今天的演出怎么样？
非常好，我非常享受这个演出。然后，我觉得我已经成了他们的乐迷。
非常有趣、有意思，然后好玩。
我叫人拍照了，我不知道那个是什么乐器。
I was shocked.
Yeah, it's like a ceremony.
成都大家比较融洽，就感觉特别好。
我觉得就是一个比较团结的一个感觉，就是各种风格的朋友都能在一起玩。
对 ，after party 早上好，
燥起来。
Now we're all packed up. We're leaving the end of the festival and heading over to little local venue near where Kristen lives.
我刚刚从德国回来，然后就遇到了他们过来巡演，然后你给我打电话。他就很随性的，就自己拿着他的那个烧烤的那个签过来，他说我可以和你一起吗？仅仅是通过音乐就可以交到非常非常真心的朋友，非常好的朋友。
It's so fun watching back on this footage because it's just so different now. Like operating in China now, it's so digital. Like everything is on your phone. Apps, tickets, booking websites, getting cars. I have no idea what that vehicle was. Like, how did we even order that? I think it was an old house moving truck and they didn't actually have seats inside. So we were just kind of sitting on like random stools going to the airport. But if you're keen on that, you can just look up Kiwis on YouTube and it will have the other episodes there. Cool. I'm just going to talk about this really briefly. CDCR, Chengdu Community Radio. This is another initiative that I run with some friends in Chengdu. And yeah, we recently made this PPT PPT, do you guys say that? PowerPoint presentation to try and get some like funding. So this is why this bit's real good, because I just copy-paste that over. But you can see the vibe. So basically we're a small studio in Chengdu. You can see in the top picture there, that's our studio. And down the bottom here, that's our little courtyard. And then in the middle there, that's when Jiaoling, just after COVID, we were like, let's do an acoustic CDCR set in the park. And then the cops, I don't know if you can see them, they're just standing there with a megaphone. Just like, but they weren't speaking. He was just going like, she's playing like a real beautiful folk song. There's like a hang drum, you know, like, it was like so funny. Anyway, so I love doing this with the homies in Chengdu. We've been doing that since about 2019. You can see this is also some of the events and programs that we've done. Some of them are parties, as you can see up there. That was our 4-year anniversary at TAG a couple of years ago with Cousin from Australia and also Marie Malari. And the rest of them. Cool, let's talk about Chunyo. So Chunyo is also another thing that I'm involved with. Chunyo is an awesome festival in Chengdu. It's run annually in April. So it translates to spring trip, which is like a phrase that, you know, Chinese people grow up with, you know, when you get to go on your spring trip, you know, with all your classmates and your friends and your family. It's like a really nice time of the year. So it started out really, really, really small when I started hanging out with them. So if you can remember from the Orchestra Spheres video, and when we went to the after party place, it's Kaishandao, that's Morning Bar, they run this. I thought I'd show you a little bit of a crossover moment. So this is a CDCR live interview with DJ Blue talking about Chunyo in 2024. And also Bird Party came to play Chunyo last year, which was absolutely rad.
哇，今年春游我觉得非常棒，每一次都非常棒，这还用说吗？就是每一次都有不同的体验，然后春游也做得越来越好，春游就终于可以做我自己，完全是我的，美丽的、舒适的，并且对也跳舞的。我带我所有的朋友去介绍那个小吃一条街，我说这个春游的吃的真的是跟别的音乐节是不一样的。第一次放音乐就在春游，那时候春游这个名字还没有春游这个名字，只是早上好，就是早上好的 party 开始。第一次放音乐，我只买那个 tractor 买了1个星期，然后就让我去放了，因为都是朋友嘛，说啊支持你，让你来放吧。那时候还是玩 side， 就是刚开始听音乐嘛，当然就是去 side party， 一进去哇那么多装置，肯定就被带入了，然后我就开始做手工呀什么的。那时候我还做了那个装置，就像这个布。然后做了那个装置在那时候的三圣乡，那时候的很小圈子，就是大家都在一起，每一个人都认识。那时候马赛克还是个那种不知名的小小的乐队了，但现在的春游很大，但是可以看到更多的嘛，我觉得都挺好的。
今年的那个 Sunrise 的感觉怎么样？
非常棒，虽然就是从那个过程很难熬，真的很难熬，真的非常感谢每一个就是等到早上的朋友，但是还是很开心，我们就是等到了一个非常美丽的日出，不是吗？今年我的布鲁奈，谢谢大家支持，我真的我都没有想到，就是有100万播放量了，谢谢大家喜欢。然后做了我的蜡烛，我为了这个蜡烛也专门做了一个 set， 然后这个蜡烛也是手工的，一切都是有安排的。大家用我蜡烛的时候一定要扫这个2维码，和音乐一起享用，才是对完整的氛围。
What a legend. DJ Blue. Let's keep moving on. This is a beautiful calligraphy that my friend Jiang Xin, who's the Laoban, the originator of Chunyo Festival, that he painted for me a few years ago. So Kaishandao is my musical alias, also just kind of my nickname, which means machete, but the 3 characters mean open mountain knife. I really like what he's done with the mountain, how he's kind of sliced it open in a really unique way. Yeah, these are just some pics of my performance, my live set. So I perform live with a drum machine and a sampler and an electric guitar. That top photo there with the long hair, that was actually my 2nd ever show, which was at Chunyo. Yeah, so I was like, can I play? And he was like, yeah, go on then. And then, started from the bottom. Now we're here. Now I've played like 8 or 9 Chonyos now. So it's really like a formative, that's very, very special and important to my journey. Yeah, I think my music became more like a club set because of what we're about to talk about, which is if you're performing in the club, you just perform in the club. You don't need to have a permit. You don't need to have, registration, these type of things. And so when you perform the live houses, which is where the bands play, which is where I come from, because I was also managing a venue called New Space, which is New Art Festival, as you saw before. I was managing that space for 5 years. And so I could see the change from, 2016 to 2020, which was by 2019, all performances that occurred in the live house had to have a permit, which is like, at the end of the day, not such a big deal. But in terms of cost, a permit for an international performer at that time cost 6,000 kwai, which is over $1,000 for one show. So yeah, it was unfeasible for me to even perform in my own venue anymore. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Let alone if you're a local band. It was cheaper for them, but still, like, at the time, it was like $600 before you've even gotten on the stage. So it just became really, really difficult for upcoming artists or artists in general to just play like we had been doing on the previous Kiwis tours as well. We were rocking up to these venues and just doing ticket splits with them. We get 70% of the tickets. No permit, no venue hire fee, nothing. So that's kind of what pushed me a bit more towards playing in the club. But it was also because my taste was changing at the time. So I was going out to the club and experiencing, house and techno and bass music out in the club, which is not really something that I'd explored much in Wellington. I was always going down to, see the gigs. So yeah, that's a big kind of reason, I think, that Kaishandao is how it is now. And you can see the Homeland tour, which kind of flanked COVID. So I did the China leg of the tour during COVID, and it was just so interesting. It went over 5 months. The last 2 shows were supposed to be in the mix, but one of the cities got shut down. I couldn't go because of, it was under lockdown. So I had to wait a really long time before I could come back to New Zealand and do the New Zealand leg of the tour. But that was for my first EP called Homeland, and it was really important for me to have both the China and Aotearoa tour. So I'm really proud of that. Whew! Oh my God, I've actually been talking about myself for so long now. Let's talk about touring. Has anyone got any questions? Should we break it up into a bit of a... Let's keep moving on. Cool, touring.